Alright, ladies and germs, we have another episode of the Leicester City career mode, the second of the day. This one is the beginning of the new Premier League season, and you can see we're starting against Everton, a team who we have struggled with in the past in this career mode. Stevan Jovetic is making his debut in this game. You can see the lineup Everton are going with not too many changes in their team, to be honest, since the start of career mode. I think, from the looks of it, they're all Everton players in real life, so they haven't done too much business, big business at least. But this is our lineup, a debut for Stevan Jovetic. Marko Arnautovic makes his way onto the bench, but the first chance falls to a regular. Jamie Vardy nicks it off Brandon Galloway. Can he finish? No, he hits the post. It would have been brilliant to see the big signings coming in, but Jamie Vardy, the same scorer. I was just waiting for it, but a few minutes later, we concede a ridiculous goal. Early on in my time in FIFA 16, I did give away a lot of chances and concede a lot of goals due to trying to play it out the back and it just not really working, whatever. And as we got into the game, we kind of improved. We didn't give the ball away as much. We didn't mess up. But now, every now and again, I guess it happens. We tried to dribble it out kind of from the back. But regardless of how we gave the ball away, that's probably the worst goalkeeping mistake I've seen on FIFA 16 so far. Like, you can't get beat at the near post like that. Not like that. That was poor. There's no way Mohamed Bezic should have been able to find the back of the net from that angle. As you see, Inla just scraping the post from that chance there created by Stevan Jovetic. Good football there. Good strike in the end from Gökhan Inla. But just wide of the target. A little bit more in, and he probably could have hit the inside of the post and had it drop in. Inla again creating, finding Jovetic this time, role reversal, and Jovetic is denied by a good save by Joel, pushing it around the post. So 60 minutes in, we're still trying to get back into this game. We've already had more chances than we usually have against Everton. It's El Mohammadi down to Inla, back to El Mohammadi, reverse pass into Inla, and Inla dispatches it into the bottom corner so beautifully. That is a lovely goal, our first goal of the season at Goodison Park. It's a well-worked goal. It's a well-worked goal. You can't tell me it's not, mate. It's just beautifully worked between Inla and El Mohammadi, back and forth a few times. Inla plays it back into Elmo here. Elmo reverse pass into Gökhan Inla, and Gökhan Inla just decent. It's not that far into the corner, but when you're there and you put your laces right through it and it is relatively into the corner, there's not that much keeper could have done about it. Although keepers do make a lot of saves when you try and shoot the ball like that. However, 70 minutes in now, Jamie Vardy nicks the ball off of John Stones, bursts into the box, could go all himself, but he has Jovetic beside him, saved by Joel, but Jovetic is able to get there before anyone else, and Stevan Jovetic manages to nick a goal on his debut away from home on his full first game for Leicester City. Can he be that guy to push us even further in the title race? We just missed out on it last season in the last episode. Maybe with a player like Jovetic. I mean, Vardy scored a lot of goals for us, but I just thought Jamie Vardy is starting to get on now. Once he loses those key attributes for him, which is obviously his pace, his stamina, and stuff like that. Once he loses them, maybe he'll have a tough time, and bringing in someone who can at least help him, even if Vardy does start the majority of the games, it can only help, to be honest. And Vardy is in behind here, one-on-one, but Brandon Galloway just gets a nick on it and it goes over the keeper's head in the 87th minute. But that didn't matter because 2 goals in quick succession turned this game on its head, and we got our first win against Everton in this series so far in season 3 now. So it's a big 3 points to pick up away from home. You see Ahmed El Mohammadi getting man of the match this game. First game of the season, he had a brilliant performance. Obviously assisting the Inla goal, involved in a lot of attacking play, and defensively, he was solid. You didn't see any of it in the game because obviously it's just the key highlights that get shown. But he was brilliant defensively, stopping everyone that came at him and doing his job more or less, with some pressure coming in for him this season with obviously Tin Yedvai. Could be playing in right back position a lot of games, and also Florian Parker, who has been promoted from the youth squad, could be getting a lot of games this season. But more importantly, onto transfer news again in between the games. Andre Kramaric, is kind of sad to see him go, I'm not going to lie, because at the start of this career mode, I thought of him as someone who could really be a big player in this campaign. And to be honest, nothing the reason he left has nothing to do with him, to be honest. It's just down to us bringing in other strikers. He was really good in our first season. As you might remember, he scored a lot of goals, scored a lot of important goals, especially assisted a lot. But last season he was loaned out with the bringing in Enner Valencia and Jose Perez. And this season, I just didn't really see any point in keeping him at the club. Sunderland came in with 3.5 million and I let him go. Hopefully he can do well at Sunderland. We'll see him again. But on to the next game, which is Newcastle United. Our first game of the season at the King Power Stadium. And Marko Arnautovic's debut. Newcastle, however, started the game better off. We actually dominated possession. We I wouldn't say created more chances, but we looked like the bigger threat. However, Newcastle in the first half created more chances. They got the ball. They were testing the keeper, as you can see there. Hamer having to push it around. This time it's Hadara who was just let to run down the touchline, and he got a shot off. Ben Hamer saved it, but you can see from this replay it really wasn't necessary to save it. It was going off the pitch, but I guess Hamer, after being beat at his near post last time, didn't want that to happen again. Newcastle again creating another chance, getting a little bit lucky there for the ball to fall to the striker. I think that's Slimani there, but just wide of the post. Another chance for Newcastle, however, on the 45th minute, and it's saved by Ben Hamer. The follow-up was called offside. So into the second half, Newcastle, dispossessed by Schlupp, plays it inside to Jovetic, plays it inside one more time to Lewis Holtby, who is obviously the main suspect of some serious transfer rumours. A lot of teams coming in for him, just like they were for Valencia. Teams like Roma, West Ham, big teams, a lot of them coming in with bids for Lewis Holtby. If I showed you the amount of offers we've been having for Holtby, yeah, there's a lot of them. But he is still a member of Leicester City, and he gets his first goal of the season, getting into all the right places so far. Lewis Holtby again creating, sliding it into Riyad Mahrez, one-on-one with a keeper more or less in the box, and it's a good save in the end by Krul. It falls to Arnautovic though, and it's just tame from the Austrian winger. His first chance in a Leicester kit, but you see the ball drops to him and he's just a pansy shot. Like, all he had to do, I held it down a lot harder than that. I wanted him to just put his foot through it. But again, Lewis Holtby creating. Vardy hits the post for the second time this season in 2 games. We've hit the post a few times already this season, and we should really be 2-0 up there. But Newcastle getting a chance of their own. This time it's Arsian on the ball. Aaron's tearing forward with all kinds of pace. Defender's not going to catch him. He takes it back, pulls it into Arsian, who played the pass, who in the end just straight into the keeper's hands, just like Newcastle's chance. I get 86 minutes, sorry, and it's a through ball played in. Vardy to Holtby this time, and Krul again making a very, very good save 88 minutes in. But again, the save didn't matter. We come out of here with 3 points, important points. Again, it's important to get a good start on the season. This season also, I may consider moving on to manual assistance. We'll see how the season goes early doors, and I'll consider it, because if it's too easy, I'm definitely going to try and find a way to make it harder. But obviously, the longer we wait, the more time we get in this career mode. If we put it on manual in season 6, then we have at least another season or 2 of difficulty, and it's not too easy all the way through. So I'm trying to manage that. But into the final game of the episode, I mentioned in the last episode that we did have Champions League playoffs, or qualifiers, whatever you want to call them, down to the 4th place side last season winning the Champions League. That's the only thing I could think of as to why we have to do a qualifier match. So really, the final episode in last season was just vital. Losses to Newcastle and Aston Villa are the reason why we're playing this game in the end, which is a shame, because we had a brilliant season last season up until the final game, which cost us in the end. But Lewis Holtby with a few really good chances, just as I said, getting into all the right places. Arnautovic switching the play to Aaron's this time, and 3 big chances in the first 20 minutes of the game that have all gone begging. Aaron's putting it wide this time. 24 minutes in, however, Holtby finds Inla, who finds Jovetic, turns on the ball, finds Arnautovic, and the Austrian gets his first goal as a Leicester player. It's beautifully worked, so beautiful on the attack. And Leicester take a 1-0 lead out in Rosenborg. I can't even really remember where Rosenborg are. Are they Swedish? Yeah, I think Rosenborg out in Sweden, then we'll say. So Arnautovic makes it 1-0. And in the few games, obviously 3 games I've played so far this season, and I'm very happy with the team right now. The additions that I've made, Jovetic, Arnautovic, Torvam, Maybe we'll make one or two more before the end of the season. The team is really progressing. We're making those final steps that we need to make ourselves real title contenders. Maybe a few more top players can really push us over the line. And obviously I expect us to contend for the title this season. But Champions League will still need a few more signings. And as you can see, early on in the second half, Rosenborg get the chance and it's pulled back into the box again and it's smashed in off the crossbar, bounced over the line and bounced back out, but it's given as a goal. Goal line technology, that's what it's there for. And you'll see in this match a lot of chances fall to Rosenborg in the second half. This game was definitely a game of halves. We dominated the first half of chances. Again, Arnautovic getting a chance there to put us back in the lead and denied by the keeper. But Rosenborg come down the right hand side again. Danny Drinkwater kind of just getting bullied, whips in across, and it's cleared poorly. It's not cleared very far at all. Straight to the Rosenborg player, and he just smashes it into an empty net. Obviously Ben Hamer was coming across to collect the cross or stop the following shot that he was expecting, but he went too far, and it's Tin Yedvai who just pulls it straight across to their player who reacted first. Obviously the momentum took him right into the path of the ball and he has levered it. Really didn't need to do that. He could have just side-footed it in, but I guess he wanted it to look better. And in the end, after the first 25 minutes of this game, you would not expect that result after dominating the beginning. And our position in the next round of Champions League is really looking like it's in jeopardy because a 2-1 loss away from home. Obviously we have the away goal and going into the second leg at the King Power Stadium. I'm expecting a win, but I was expecting a win in this game as well. Maybe that's why we didn't win. Underestimating the opponents. We'll have to come out in the next leg and do the job. You can see the Premier League table after the first 2 games. Next episode we will have a Premier League game, a Champions League game, and a Capital One Cup game, and as well as transfer deadline day, probably a squad report, and that's about it. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, guys. Make sure you return for the next. Bye.